to another fun Friday. So I would go FF, but
why can't we just make it through this little beginning?
I know we didn't have an intro. I mean, we have an intro, but it's like we're gonna have something that's just
It's a good intro.
It is, but we're gonna make something even better because that's what we do as human beings. We try to make things better.
Yes.
So we're gonna
always, just like we're trying to improve our families, and that's why we show up for these fun Fridays to get our ideas on how we can better connect with our family. This week's all about game night.
It is game night.
I'm pretty excited. I mean, I guess it could be game day.
Have you ever seen? Did you remember that movie? I think it had who did it have in there? I can't think of his name.
New or old?
It's newer. Jason Bateman. It had him. They did this big game night or something.
Oh yeah, there was a donkey involved, right?
I don't remember. It was a lot of things. It's so funny. But this isn't a plug for that. But it's just when you said game night, I'm thinking of that. But this is
that was an intense game night.
This is not that. This is game night for blended family. So we're going to talk on that and give you some kind of the top 10 game nights that are out there for families, along with some of our suggestions. So we're going to talk on that.
And then some things that we hadn't really ever thought of until we were in that predicament, and then heard from someone else who had a perspective on family game nights when it comes to blended families.
Yeah. For sure. So it's going to be a good one. Tune on in. It's going to be a great episode. So, game night. When I say game night, what comes to your head?
Like in my head as a mother who wants this vision of my family sitting around the table, laughing and joking and having a good time.
A model family, right?
Or game night,
because that's achievable. That's what TV tells us.
Where you are trying to just, get your family to show up.
That's the key.
Especially as the older they get and the more involved, or even just trying to plan it in your schedule. I get a little high stressed anxiousness when I think about that.
No.
And then the kids that are super competitive and can't handle losing, and so
she's talking about me, guys. Just
yeah, him. But those that are competitive and can't handle losing, so they're like, "You're cheating. That's not fair."
Now I'm sure everyone listening right now has never experienced any of that.
I'm sure they had that first envision, like I have just been trying to create in my family.
Yeah.
Our family has got much better at it.
For sure. We definitely had a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Not the music or the band, but we had a lot of that initially. Kind of as we were blending together, we would play games, and
I don't think it was just us either, because I remember growing up and playing with my brothers, and my younger brother could not handle losing, and so everything ended with the flipping of the game board or something. So
that's when you know it's over with. Boom, done.
Or he would win, and once he got a win, he would never play you again. It was done for. You were never going to play because he did not want to lose after that. But it doesn't have to be all negative. There are a lot of positives that come when you can push through or not have too high of expectations.
I had a lot of good memories with game nights just growing up.
Oh, so just me that was traumatized.
Definitely. There was a lot of competitiveness. I remember definitely my dad and us playing games. He would teach us backgammon. He taught us chess was a big one that stuck with me. I love chess to this day.
Fun fact, we were staying at our in-laws, or my in-laws, his dad and stepmother this weekend, and I go in to take a shower and I come back out. Then he goes to take a shower and he comes back out and he pulls up chess like he's been playing online chess. I was like, how long has this been going on? How come I don't know anything about this? And he's like, because I just started when you were in the shower earlier.
She looked at me and said, do I even know you?
Do I even know you anymore? You play chess online?
After 15 years, babe, no.
He had been gone out of town for a whole week, and so I thought maybe he picked it up during that time. And I don't know. I was being silly as if it was like a gambling addiction or a secret love affair. But
And actually, it was just a one I downloaded. I started thinking about it actually, and was like, I haven't played. I love playing chess. I think we had watched a show or something that had it in there, and just kind of stirred up those emotions as a kid and how much I loved it. And I had the app a few years ago, and was like, let me just download another chess app. She's taking a shower. Let me just do it. And so it was kind of one of those, and you just caught me in a moment. So
I caught him right when he was starting to play with Brandon.
Yeah.
No, well, I don't know who
and this was an AI, so just throwing that out there.
Like, who is this Brandon fellow that you're playing
it's
chess
like
with?
The insurance commercial, like, who are you talking to, honey?
Oh, yeah.
Such and such. What
Farm.
are you wearing? Khakis and a polo shirt.
It was one of those moments for sure. Anyways, back to your story.
Game
your
night.
Dad played chess with
so
you
we
guys.
we would learn a lot of games. He would teach us a lot of these games. They were competitive. We do card games, solitaire, and things like that. So I remember that growing up. Mm. But those were always fun. I still remember those to this day. And game night games in general are just such a bond building experience. So just as families in general, as blended families, we need one of those areas we can have is to create those for our family, because we need that.
They don't happen just naturally. You have to actually put in the effort of and I don't know why I always dread it. I guess maybe because I have post-traumatic stress disorder from growing up in our game night activities with my brothers. But once I do it, I love it. I'm having a great time. But for some reason, stopping working or stopping watching what we're doing, we're putting that time in there it's like I don't want to, but the moment I push past that, I'm all in.
We're definitely in an age now to where technology has advanced us so much that we do stay very busy. Our time is filled to the max, it seems like, especially if you have little kids. And it's one of those that you don't think to do, or you don't make the time to do it. But how powerful it is whenever you all sit down. It's almost like eating dinner together. Once you do that, you start talking, you start laughing, you create those memories. And as a blended family, we need those. We need those to help build our family together, to grow each other stronger. That way you have these memories to look back on and laugh at, and just you're sharing that time together. So it's really important to add this into one of your fun nights. This isn't something you probably do every day, or maybe this is a thing that you can do once a week or once a month or once a quarter, whatever works, and however many things you have that you're incorporating. But at least every week you're being intentional, doing some type of fun with your family. And this is just one of those that you can add to it.
Yeah, and that's the whole purpose of Fun Fridays, is to give you those ideas. It doesn't mean that you have to do this on Fridays, every Fridays, or what have you, but being intentional on those moments in game nights is just another one of those ways to do that.
So we want to talk on some of the games that are some of the top games out there. So we'll talk on that here in a minute, and then we're going to share a few games that we have and we've seen success, and some that we've seen some failure. But before we get into that, one thing we've learned as a blended family is you have to really watch the games you do pick.
Yeah.
Because there are certain games out there that are very competitive, and the competitiveness can actually hurt your blended families. Because as we're growing together, we can have a division. As two families are coming into one, depending on your family dynamics, there's already some walls that are up. There's already trust issues. There's just things that you're trying to work on to blend well, and it takes time doing that. And so when you do choose games, you want to choose something that you're not being competitive and adding to those walls.
Because you may have noticed that being like from the stepmother's point of view, we'll say, when you're sitting there and you're playing a game of Sorry, and you get to the point where you get to move somebody's little pawn from their place and put them back.
Sorry.
And you're like, sorry. And that's what's funny about it, right? But if, say, you're the stepmom or the stepchild that already feels attacked in that way, like you have a target on you. And when you, as a stepmom, like say if I'm being the targeted person and I'm seeing it from my perspective right now, and my stepdaughter has the choice to take her dad down, or maybe her own sibling, or to take me, that mindset that I'm walking through in my head is like, of course she's going to take me down because she doesn't like me. And maybe it's just completely the right move for her. It's the smartest move, but you take it as that hit of like, she's doing this to spite me. Like, she's just angry with me, so now she's going to punish me because she can right now. When really it's just reading a little too much into it, but at the same time, it's real emotions that are coming up. And then if you're the stepchild and maybe you're feeling that, and you have your step parent choose, or maybe like your spouse, like, he chooses to save me in that moment because it's a smarter move for him, but it's choosing over his own child. Well, that's already some built-in emotion that child is feeling, that he has chosen me over her. So now this just solidifies that, like says, yeah, it proves, oh, he does choose her over me. And then it's just building up those other emotions on the inside.
It does, and these are such a small thing that we don't think about. And as games, some of them are very competitive, and it's just the game. We laugh about it, but when you already have these emotions going on inside of you, inside your family, some you don't even know you have at the time, this just really builds and adds to that. And so you want to really look for games that are going to help unify each other and not cause that competitive division. So that's one thing with the blended family, being really cautious. We had a game night here, and we actually, brief history, my biological daughter and her mother, my ex-spouse, had a child, which is her brother, and he will now come down and stay with us during the summertime. We've built that type of trust and relationship now, but they live in a different state, of course, so he comes down a month out of the summer and stays with us because that gives my biological daughter quality time with him that she doesn't get because they do live in two separate states. And so this past summer we were sitting there and we were playing games. We like games and they're fun. And we used sorry because we had just experienced that. And we were playing this game, and I mean, I got to a point I was ready to flip the board. I was like, all right, this is getting really like there was targeting going on. There was just it really brought out people's ugly side.
Yeah, it was bringing out the worst, and you don't want that from
it.
It
started out just a simple, fun game.
No, it wasn't Sorry that brought out the worst. It happened. It was Uno that went on. They had created ridiculous rules like draw 100 or draw the whole deck, and the game.
Like, what kind of crap is that?
The game was like an hour long, and we still hadn't finished, and we were so over it. So don't do that.
But that also led to targeting as well, because it was there was a lot of whispering in ears. Hey, do this and I'll play that, and it just led to a lot just unhealthy competitiveness, which led to frustration and just wanting to it sucks the fun out of it, sucks the joy out of it. So as a blended family, that's one tool, one trick, one tip that we have learned just with experience as well, is as blended families, we do have these walls already up that we're trying to break down, where we're trying to diminish, that way we can blend well. We want to choose our games wisely and not add to that. So you want games to help unify each other and not add to the division.
And with that, even looking at, and when I read the list here in a minute, I'm going to say it on each one, but looking at the number of players before you buy a game, because with the blended family, it often becomes a larger family because you're taking two separate households and bringing them together, and a lot of the games will call for 4 players. So finding something that allows for the amount of players that you have, or figuring out ahead of time, like maybe, okay, well, it's a game that they can team up, or, you know, these two, the younger ones can be together, something of that, or the younger one with the adult, so that everybody is getting to participate. And it's not like, let's play Sorry, kid, you're number 5, you're out this round.
You don't get to, or else then now you're partnering up with someone, oh, that's not fair. And, I mean, you get that in just regular family alone, but blended family, we have to be a little bit more cautious, just some words of advice, right? Things that you don't think about going into this, but it can be something so little that can create just those hidden emotions adding to it. So yeah.
But we want you to play games. We still want
Well, and that's why we're coming out. We're fixing to tell you some of the top games.
Yes.
So here we go. We have
Top
a list,
10.
and this kind of came from a blog post that Scarlett had written a while back. But
yeah, I did a little research on just Amazon and Pinterest and just Google in general of like the top games that were out right then. Something outside of your norm that we all typically own, like your Sorries and your Trouble and Monopoly. Yeah, Apples to Apples. And we're going to say some of the ones that we have that are favorites. These are games that I have not actually played, but they're compared to the games that we have played. So, and there's so many of them that I want us to get for our family, maybe for this Christmas or the season we're going into. So
we're going to give you the top list just of what Amazon and some of that research recommends. We'll give that to you. That way you got it and you can research it on your own. And maybe this is a new game just to give you some different flavor to add to it. But we'll do that, and then we're going to give our advice at the end of that.
Yeah, and if you're driving or something listening to this and you're like, oh, crap, we'll put in the show notes a link to that blog post. And it is a very short blog post with just a picture of the game, broken down like a little summary of the game, and then a link like where you can click and go to it.
Because game nights are fun. You got to do it.
You got to do it. You got to move past
game nights.
The frustration that could come. So first is called Beat That, and it's like a minute to win it type of game. And I love me some minute to win it type of games, but it's all in a box, and then it might call for some things you need like plastic cups and that sort that you would have at home already. But I like that one because it has 2 to 8 players. So maybe if it's just you and like one of your kids, making the most of a night that maybe your spouse has gone off to do something with their child as a date night, and it's just you and the kids at home. You can still do these games to use that time wisely. So it's 2 to 8 players, and it's ages 9 and up. Number 2 is not.
Oh, hold on. It's called Beat That?
Beat That.
So you're not beating each other or nothing?
No.
Okay.
It's like Beat That Score.
I'm thinking of like Living Color, like Homie the Clown, like slapping and beating people. Okay.
Okay, no, not that one.
Maybe
not
so that was Beat That. So
Beat That. That was number 1.
Okay.
Number 2 is Not Parent Approved. And not parent approved.
Because that sounds awesome.
A lot of these use a lot of potty humor, which we know kids love potty humor. But it's
kids of all ages.
This guy. It's a family-friendly version of Cards Against Humanity. If you play Cards Against Humanity, it's very funny, but it's not family-friendly. So this one also is cool because it's 4 to 10 players. So if you have a large family,
that would be a big family. If you have 10 people in your family, that's
the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, well, that's true. You do,
right? How many do they have?
They had 1, 2, 6, 7, 8.
They had 8. Okay,
well, plus they had the nanny. What was her name? So
I don't know.
I guess you got to consider her part of the family.
She's family.
She's family. She isn't.
And I would know her name if you didn't ask me right now.
So I don't know. Maybe
anyways.
Carla or
no.
Okay.
The
Brady Bunch.
Now I want to think of it.
The Brady Bunch.
Stop. Okay, number 3. Kids Against Maturity.
Ooh, Kids Against
Maturity. It's another potty kind of humor. It's like an Apples to Apples Junior. That is one of our family. Well, I guess we're not saying that yet. But if you like Apples to Apples, you'll like Kids Against Maturity.
Kids Against Maturity. Do you have Adults Against Maturity? Maybe they have a sequel.
Maybe. We could look that up.
Adults Against Maturity. Kids, you feed yourselves. You cook.
That's responsibility.
Well, but responsibility comes with maturity, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
This one you can only have 4 players, though, so take that in consideration. And you really need to be like 10 and up. Then there's one called Little Off Topic. This one got the 2020 award for Best Games, and it's like Scattergories, and you can just have 2 or more players. So as many players as you have. Maybe you're having your extended family over. This is a fun one.
Oh, yeah.
Do you like Scattergories?
Scattergories? I've never played Scattergories. It sounds scattering. It sounds kind of out, scattered.
Okay.
No?
I don't know.
Okay. But I like the name. The
category,
name,
or that one's called Little Off Topic.
Little Off Topic is what just happened there. So
Yeah, you got a little
we
off
got
topic.
a little off topic. So
Always.
I would be winning at that game already. So little off topic.
You'll like this one. Number 5.
I do.
Artsy fartsy.
Artsy fartsy.
Yes.
If you're a wife, do you feel like it's hard to talk to your husband? How about you guys? Do you ever feel like it's difficult to talk to your wife? And most of the time as a blended couple, it almost always ends up being about the kids. This is one of the areas that was really hard for me and Scarlett to figure out. It took us many years in our marriage before finding a real solution. You either end up bottling it all up on the inside, or you just end up blowing up all over each other. Both ways leave you feeling unheard, frustrated, or really just mad at each other.
For sure, but once we learned how to work through our issues instead of letting our issues wreak havoc in our marriage, we were so much more equipped to create better solutions to all the parenting issues that came up in our family. Instead of fighting and arguing about things, we were able to start working through them and working together as a team, and it actually brought us closer together.
We want you to have the opportunity to have the same playbook that it took us years to figure out, so that you and your spouse can be on the same page a lot quicker and help you overcome a lot of the parenting drama while getting better solutions for both of you. So right now, we are pre-selling the Same Page Parenting Playbook. The cool thing is, during this pre-sale, we're giving it to you half off. And we're also throwing in a lot of free bonuses with it. Now, the bad news is this pre-sale is only going on until October 29th. After that, you miss out on this amazing deal. So don't wait. Get it today so you don't miss out.
The link for more details on the Same Page Parenting Playbook is in the show notes below. We've had so many parents telling us this is the #1 issue that they face as a blended family. So get it today before this amazing offer goes away. You don't want to miss out on this. Now back to the episode. Yes.
So I haven't seen this list, so I'm getting the taste that each one of you are, and you're getting as you're hearing this. So artsy, fartsy. That, like, do you fart?
What game do you think that would be compared to?
Don't they have like a bean game or something?
No, you're thinking Bean Boozled, I think.
Bean Boozled.
No, think of the art side. I think it's just artsy fartsy because fartsy rhymes with artsy, and again, kids like potty humor.
That is true.
What's a game that you draw?
That you draw? Like cards?
No.
Pictionary.
Yes, it's
Pictionary.
similar to Pictionary.
Okay, Pictionary.
And it's another good game for large families because it can have 4 to 12 players. So
Oh, that sounds fun.
yeah, I think it would
Artsy,
be a lot of fun.
Fartsy. So do you draw farts?
No, I'm
Can
telling
you
you.
even draw one?
Yes, I
I don't-
have drawn a fart before. I'm a pre-K teacher.
Do I even know you?
Yes. I draw farts. So, number 6 is Sky Joe.
Sky Joe.
Sky Joe had the highest ratings because, again, I looked these up on Amazon and I read the reviews, what people had to say about it, and looked up the details of it. It had the highest reviews out of all of them, and it's like an Uno type game, 2 to 8 players to play.
Do you climb? Like, I'm thinking Sky Joe, like G.I. Joe getting...
I don't know
In
why
the-
it's called
in the
Sky
air.
Joe. I didn't research why they came up with
That's
their
where my
names.
mind went. I'm seeing like G.I. Joe action figures and they're like parachuting out of airplanes.
Has nothing to do with this game, guys. So if you're against that, you can
If there's not a game out there, someone should create that and call it Sky G.I. Joe.
Oh, okay, I get where you're going. Get where you're coming from that.
Because that could be cool.
7.
And then they could be like bombs and explosions and... No, that'd be... No, that's too devastating. So that just
Deep
hurt.
breath.
Yeah, sorry. Go
Number
ahead.
7.
Sky Joe.
Oh gosh, you're gonna go all over the place with this one.
Oh, here.
Slapsy.
Sla-
Slapsy.
Okay, I saw Jimmy Fallon when you said that, and now they had the big hand, and they would like slap each other. Yeah,
That's
slapsy.
not this game.
That's not this game. Well, that's kind of good because that would cause a lot of division, probably.
Yeah, that would not help. In a blended family, you definitely don't want some slapping
Bam!
because you might have a lot of
Knock
hate
it
happen.
down.
This one, it's from this. I loved it because it's the same creators as Tensies.
Okay.
And we love Tensies. So it's something to do with maybe a Crazy 8 where you're looking at pictures, and when 2 pictures or Slapjack, whatever that game was
when
called.
two pictures love each other very much.
Oh goodness! But when they're the same, then you slap them. Now
you're slapping their hands, or you're
slapping the cards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you slap the card. I could see where that could get really slappy.
Or violent. Okay. Number 8.
Slappy.
Double.
Or Scrappy was the Scooby-Doo character.
Yeah.
Scrappy.
Scrappy was the Scooby-Doo character.
So I could not
Which
link Scrappy
is-
into Slappy, but I kind of just did.
Which
so
is like
boom.
game number 4, a little off topic.
Little off topic.
Little off topic.
Still winning that game. Okay, next.
Number 8. Double Ditto.
Double Ditto.
This, I think, sounds really cool, and it's for 4 to 10 players. But it's like Family Feud, but more personal and quicker. So if you like to watch Family Feud, this somehow it incorporates like some personalness into it, and it goes a lot faster than a game of Family Feud. So check that one out.
When you said that, I was thinking Ghost. Ghost came to mind. You remember whenever Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore would say, "I love you," and he would be ditto. And like if you did a double ditto, if she turned back around and went ditto 2. Or
Ditto squared.
double ditto. Double ditto. And you just like dittoed everybody.
We should do a run through of these so that you can get this stuff out. Number 9.
Funnier this way.
Number 9.
We got almost.
You're really
we're almost
gonna
to
love
10.
this one.
We're almost to 10.
You're gonna love this one. Throw burrito.
Throw burrito.
Throw burrito.
I give them credit for the rhyme because the rhyme is really good. And I do love me a burrito. You get a burrito now. It's probably one under a taco. It shouldn't just be Taco Tuesday. It should be taco every day. But
this game actually comes with soft burritos.
What?
That you actually like. I was hoping you would go that way because this game actually what your mind would think.
Do you get to throw burritos?
You throw burritos at family members.
Oh yeah, that creates no division.
I had a friend that played this game though because I was like,
refried bean in the eye.
I was like, what the heck? My initial thought was they have run out of game ideas. This sounds ridiculous.
It's like AKA food fight.
And you do, but she said that her older kids loved it.
Huh.
That they were throwing this soft burrito. It's like spoons. You know how like you have the spoons and you're doing the cards, and then when you get the matches, someone has to grab the spoon. The last person to grab the spoon or doesn't have a spoon, they lose. It's something like that, but you pick up the burrito and throw it at somebody. So if that sounds interesting, if you got older kids, it would be a great game.
Throw a burrito.
But it does say for 7+. So and then for 2 to 6
burrito.
players.
2 to 6?
2 to 6.
Okay.
So that one only goes up to 6 players.
And we came down to number 10. Should I give a drum roll?
Yeah, go for it.
Like that's my air.
Very nice.
My air. I got nothing to hit.
I like it. You ready? Stop.
I was waiting on you to say so I could.
Oh, is Goat Lords. Goat Lords.
I don't know that a drum roll was right for that. We should went wah, wah, wah.
No, you should have been like a goat sound.
That's not a goat.
Goat Lords is like a mix of
Lords?
Uno, Old Maid, Goldfish. Like you're trying to collect something by. All these goats like look different because I did look in some of the games on the blog post.
I am Billy Goat Gruff.
There might be Billy Goat, or it might be like the maid goat, or it might be like
an
baseball
old maid goat.
I don't know. They use the name goat, and they have all kinds of characters, and you're trying to make a match with those. And it's again 2 to 6 players.
Oh, like Guess Who or something?
Sort of. No, it says like Goldfish or like Old Maid.
Oh yeah.
You know, but okay, I mean, I guess kind of like Guess Who.
Okay.
So that is our list.
Boom, top 10
new games.
Some of the 2020.
The games
stuff.
you may not have. Yeah, when I created this is last Christmas. So not even 2020. That was it was ending up 2020, going into 2021.
So at the end of 2020, you kind of did the research, and that was the top 10.
Those were the top
10.
games.
So there you go. So you get to go research those if you'd like to. We'll put those in the show notes. Just give you a list of the games we just talked about. There's no affiliation here for us, so we're just giving you kind of some of the research, what we found, or what actually Scarlett found. I just found out about it today.
Just now.
It's funnier that way.
Do we want to share with them just a few of the things that we have enjoyed playing here at the house?
Yes, we do. So yeah, before we wrap up, we'll just kind of share some of the things that, as us being a blended family, what has worked well. Because there's been a lot that hasn't, especially kind of like we talked about the Saris and the Monopolies and things like that, just where you really can strategize against each other, a lot of the games do, but some do it in a more fun way, I guess. So.
Well, and I think any of the games, even if you play them that cause that, if you go into it just knowing that might be some thoughts going through with your kid's head or maybe your wife's head, or I don't know if guys even think of stuff like that, but girls definitely.
But really, after you listen to this, it's really coming out of this saying, okay, let me be more aware of it. That way, when you are playing a game, you decide for yourself. Every one of us has different family dynamics. So you get to kind of watch now and say, okay, let's not play that again. Let's shelf that one, or let's try something else. Maybe we're going to research on this. And maybe you're hearing this and you're like, oh, yeah, we have had a lot of problems. That's why we don't do game
maybe
nights.
We should put that game away.
So I know one of the games we have done that's been very good is Apples to Apples.
We do, and I think Apples to Apples is such a good blended family game because you don't know who's you're choosing unless you're really bad at like keeping it a secret. Like I can be sometimes trying to like really pump up that card. But it's one that they have to choose blindly which card they think fits that, and I just as a teacher, what fits that like adjective or describing word most, and it's just funny. We always laugh. We come out of that game just enjoying it. Like I've never had like a bad experience of Apples to Apples Junior. Yep. I like the junior version a lot more than the older version. And then one of our newer favorite games is Tensies.
Tensies is fun.
That's one that if you're like game night, and you're tired or exhausted, you can really get in the zone. It's a very loud game, but you're just taking 10 dice and you're shaking and rolling and trying to get all ones. And as soon as you get all ones, like you push aside the ones, and then you do it again until you get all ones. And then once you get all of those, you're going for all twos, all the way to get to 6. But you're competing against yourself, or you're playing against yourself and also against everybody at the same time, because you're trying to be the first one to get to the 6, but it's just you and your dice.
Yeah, so. That's a good one, and I think probably one of my more favorite ones that we've had a lot of fun memories with, and you're going to have to help me with the name of it because I drew a blank, but it's the acting out game that we would do with the little clapper thing.
Gestures,
yes.
Yeah.
Gestures is very fun. And that's fun just because you get to act out, and it can draw out even the introverted to where you're all kind of for each other. You can play it as teams, or you can play it just you're just trying to guess what they're doing. So you can make it fit different ways on that. But that is a fun game that you will come up with some crazy off the wall things and laugh out loud.
That is true. It's another good family.
So that's a good family
I wasn't
game.
even thinking of Gestures.
Yeah, Gestures is a blast. We enjoyed that one a lot.
One of my fondest memories, we only successfully did it once, but I just pulled out another game for us to try to do it again, was the time that we played Life. That was the ongoing game. Like we put the board game down on the table, and each night we sat down for dinner. We left the board there, so probably if you have little kids, it wouldn't work as well. But we left it there, and we would come eat, and we might only eat dinner 3 times that week at the table. We would play the game while we were eating, and the game went on for a really long time. But it's something we still talk about and remember because
and you leave like a sticky note when you're done, like whose turn is next and things of that. But that's kind of like doing a puzzle, right? You can start a puzzle and then walk away and come back to it later. So that's a fun game night as well. So
that's why I pulled out SpongeBob Monopoly.
SpongeBob Monopoly.
We just had a garage sale, and I was going to sell all of our old games that we never played. And then I got rid of some of them, like half of them. And then I had my son bring them all down from upstairs because I was like, we're getting rid of them. And then I'm like, but what about this? Now that y'all are older, we might like this one. And so I ended up keeping half of them and getting rid of half of them that I didn't think that we would ever play. But I have SpongeBob pulled out because when I was talking with my 21-year-old, he was like, well, if I was going to play any version of Monopoly, it would be SpongeBob Monopoly. And I hate Monopoly because it's just a really long game and a lot of thinking. And so I'm thinking SpongeBob Monopoly. Actually, don't like SpongeBob either. But
I love SpongeBob.
I know him.
Lives in a pineapple.
Why did I even bring it up?
No, okay. Yeah, there we go. Maybe we'll just end it on that.
Yes. So I hope this gave you some ideas. I hope some of these, the top 10 list of 2020 Spurs. Is that not Spurs?
Sparks.
Some,
or Spurs. Some
interest and ideas, or some of the things that we talked about makes you think a little bit differently. But just do it. Play the game nights. Make the memories.
Game nights are fun. We need, as any family, but especially as a blended family, we got to be intentional on creating environments that we are coming together.
Oh, last one that we really enjoyed the other day. It's a new game.
Oh, continuation. Here we go.
I just thought about this.
Sorry was not a good.
Catan, is that what it's called?
Oh, Catan, yes.
Our oldest. Now
she brought that. Now that's going to be for an older. If your kids are older, maybe teenage probably. Catan. That's kind of a newer game. That's fun, strategic. So,
very. I didn't want to play it either because it was hurting my brain in the beginning, but we won, so heck yeah.
Yeah, me and Scarlett, we paired up and we played. Our daughter and her boyfriend, and then Riley and Laylan.
Her brother played,
her brother was there. So yeah, we had 3 teams and we all strategized.
So I just want to tell you about that game because it's like a game that the kids are playing right now. The kids, like the young adult kids, when they get together. So maybe try that out. Maybe if you have young adult kids, you can only have 4 like actual players,
but you can create teams and that gives you the ability to add extensions to the board game to where you can add more too. So check that one out.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't want to end without talking about that.
But so just really quick recap is just being intentional. We've got to create these moments to where we are uniting and coming together, but then we want to be cautious that we're not adding to the silent divisions that we can already have. We want to help break down those walls. So with games are very powerful in bringing us together, laughing, having fun, creating those memories. So just as you're choosing your games, choose them wisely and pick them, but do them. Add that to some of your tool shed that you're pulling out on creating these environments. But have fun with it. Have fun because this is a good thing. Game nights. Boom. So love it. So that's where we're going to end. Game nights. Go do it. Maybe that sparks some ideas. Go have fun playing games. All
right.
So we'll see you later. Boom.
Hey, thanks for joining us for another fun Friday here at Enjoying Your Blended Family. All the links we talked about today are in the show notes. And if you enjoyed listening, be sure to subscribe because it's free and it lets you know when we have another episode out for you to listen to.
And if you don't mind helping us out so we can start reaching more people, leave us a rating and review. You never know when we'll give you a shout out. Until next time, have fun being intentional and remember to enjoy the moment.